need to get home. My fingers are freezing. They're freezing, I'm telling you. Y'all don't ever say I don't love you. Doing my Freedom Friday in 45-degree weather at night. What's up, River Nation? It is Halo the Rooter coming at you this cold evening. It's Freedom Friday. Whoop, whoop. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. If this is your first Freedom Friday, I just want to thank you guys out for joining us. I got a good, interesting topic for you guys today. All right. King of Tennessee whiskey. You guys think it's Jack Daniels? Is that what we're going with? What if I was to surprise you and tell you it is not Jack Daniels? All right. So how does that correlate with freedom? It's whiskey. Come on. Whiskey is always a good topic for anything. Anyways, you'll see why. So basically, I want to share a story with you guys that is not widely known about Tennessee whiskey and its history. No, this story is not about Jack Daniel. Or Jack Daniels brand of whiskey. So that's a surprise, right? Boom, gotcha. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and jump into this story real quick. Okay. So there once was a preacher in Lynchburg, Lincoln County, and at this time, it was the 1800s. He owned a farm, and there was a man who worked on this farm. This man was actually born in Maryland, so born within the US of A. And during the 1800s, you guys know, it's a well-known fact that was when slavery was prevalent in America, throughout America. So when we're going back to Tennessee, you know, I am a native Texan. I just want to tell you, Texans are proud of everything. We want to be proud of everything, and we are proud of everything in our state. But got to give it up for this boy and what he got going on. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So there was a preacher man, who owned a farm in Lynchburg, Tennessee. And this preacher man had a side hustle. I'm going to tell you what this side hustle is. Making whiskey. Was he making the whiskey? No, but he was sure as heck selling it. So this man's name was Dan Call. And if you guys know what direction I'm going down, please don't give it up for the people in the comments. Just listen to the story. Don't be that kid in class. I know what's going. Listen to this. Just listen to the damn story. Let it play out. All right. So this man's name was Dan Call. He owned a farm and owned some slaves. And one of those slaves was named Nathan Green. Went by the name of Nearest. So UncleNearest was the actual man's name that people in Tennessee knew him by. UncleNearest. So what UncleNearest did was distill whiskey for this preacher man, Dan Call. And so he was a slave. You know, he was working on this farm as a slave. And, you know, once upon a time, there's a little 10-year-old white boy who was actually motherless at the age of 4 months. He was motherless, and he was 10 years old, and he was ready to work. Because you guys know that was a different time in the US of A. You know, people actually worked for a living. Even the young kids worked for a living on the farm, you know. They did what they did. And so this young 10-year-old boy was a little helper and chore boy for this preacher man, Dan Call. And, you know, he kind of got bored with regular farm work. Any boy can do regular farm work at that day and age. So he wanted to know what was going on in the farm, where there was always smoke and the mules were always going and things were just happening back there, and he wanted to know what was going on. So what Dan Call did is he told UncleNearest, or Nearest Green, or Nathan Green, he told him, okay, I want you to teach this young boy everything you know about distilling whiskey. So he did. UncleNearest started teaching this kid. And you know what was so special about this Tennessee whiskey that everybody knew about at this day and age was that it was distilled, or actually filtered through charcoal made from sugar maple trees. And I promise you, when I was doing my research on this topic, I checked that twice, just like Santa Claus. I checked it once, checked it twice, probably 3 times. Yes, it was filtered through charcoal made by sugar maple trees. And so everybody knew about UncleNearest's whiskey at this day and age in Tennessee. Not this day and age, that day and age in Tennessee. And that was one of the secret processes that made it so successful, made it so appeasing to the palate back then. So UncleNearest took this young boy, this 10-year-old boy, and taught him everything he knew about distilling whiskey. I just want to tell you guys, a lowrider, this is a freaking sexy bike. So He taught him, and this young boy, you know, grew up to be a young man and was definitely Uncle Nearest apprentice. And you know, after a while, he was growing up into a young man, like I said, and this young man had a talent for being a salesman and had a young entrepreneurial spirit. So what happened over time was, obviously, the 13th Amendment of the US of A's Constitution was ratified, and Uncle Nearest became a free man. So what happened was, this young boy bought Dan Call's distillery, and he hired Nathan Green, Uncle Nearest, as his first official master distiller. So this man, Nathan Green, or Uncle Nearest, was the first black master distiller, first official. All right, so they were saying in this story that Nathan Green probably got this technique of filtering the whiskey through charcoal made by, or produced by, a sugar maple tree, because that's what they would do in West Africa to filter their water, make sure they had clean water. They would filter through charcoal. So he distilled the best, finest, smoothest whiskey in Tennessee at that time. And there's a fine line between that fine whiskey and Kentucky bourbon. But it is what it is. So anyways, he became the master distiller for this young boy, who he taught how to make whiskey or distill whiskey, taught him everything he knew. Does anybody want to guess what that young boy's name was? Let me tell you that, man. Nathan Green was a black man who taught this young, most widely known distiller how to make whiskey, or taught him everything he knew about whiskey. That young boy, anyone want to take a crack at it? Go ahead. You probably know the damn story. Jack Daniels. Jack Daniel. His legal name is Jasper. But everybody in Tennessee knew him as Uncle Jack, and you guys now know him as Jack Daniel. That's crazy, huh? Oh, man, I'm all fogged up in my visor here. Sorry, I was talking way too much. I was getting too excited about my story. I was all fogged up in my visor. Okay, so yeah, Jack Daniel was actually taught by a black slave how to make whiskey, how to distill whiskey. Who else knew that? So the way that this was brought on was, my boss actually shared the story with me. I know I got a cool boss. We talked about whiskey, and she told me about this really nice bottle, you know, and so they actually make I think it's called UncleNearest whiskey, and I'm not gonna get into the whole taste and smoothness or whatever about whiskey. That's not what this video is about. This video is literally the story or the heritage of Uncle Nearest and UncleNearest whiskey, or Nathan Green and his whiskey. And I just think that that's freaking phenomenal that we know this guy, this young guy, Jack Daniel. There's like 2 or 3 actual Freedom Friday stories within this one story. You know, first of all, Nathan Green got his freedom and he became a master distiller. You know, I'm so glad that Jack Daniel didn't forget his roots, or Jasper Daniel didn't forget his roots, and he recognized who taught him everything and made him who he was, or gave him the knowledge that he had to create the brand that he has created, you know, way past his line. His legacy that he carries is because of this black man, this black slave who was no longer a slave, and he took him in and he made him a master distiller. Like, that's an awesome story. So there's a Freedom Friday story there. There's also the entrepreneurial spirit of Jack Daniel, who as a young boy, you know, he lost his mother at 4 months of age, and he didn't know his mom, and he just knew to work. You know, I'm sure that's what his dad and his brothers did. So that's what he did at the young age of 10 years old. He went to go work, and he learned and honed a craft over his lifetime, and we have come to enjoy that craft. Now, am I going to tell you that we should all appreciate the pastor who had a side hustle that was preaching on Sunday and you know, selling distilled whiskey out of his farm throughout the rest of the week? I might tell you that, but I just want to acknowledge, you know, the story of friendship that these people had, you know, Jack Daniel and Nathan Green. You can definitely tell that, you know, they had a legacy, and it's just amazing, because it's crazy because, you know, living in this country, we have many opportunities, and just making this man a free man, he actually was able to create his own legacy. That Nathan Green didn't die as a slave or a black slave. He died as a successful master distiller, and now he has, you know, a brand that has come past his lifetime, you know, by other people who have learned the heritage, picked up on the heritage, and wish to share that heritage with everybody else. And like I said, this video isn't about drinking whiskey. It's about the freedom that this country offers. You know, that if you have that spirit, just that free spirit, like Jack Daniel did, he wanted to create a successful company, and he knew he needed the right people. And sometimes you see that. You see people who are burdened by different kinds of chains. You know, it's not as clearly as the chains of slavery, you know, physical slavery like we once had in America. But it could be slavery in the mindset. You know, you think that you are hitting your full potential already. You are limiting yourself, not thinking that you can go much further than you can. And I'm here to tell you that you can. You know, I started this moto vlog journey, you know, hoping to catch mistakes on my own. When, you know, whenever I was driving, I put a camera on my head to say, hey, like, don't do that, or look at this footage, look how you turned wrong here, or you put your foot down here. And now we got a full-blown channel. I got all kinds of friends. My friends, you know, we have a good Freedom Friday playlist going on, and I got a lowrider-esque, so you never know what can become of you just simply changing your mindset. I never thought for once that I would ever own a motorcycle, ever, and now I own, in my opinion, the baddest motorcycle there is. I freaking love this machine. I freaking love America. I may love the smell of whiskey, but that's just it, you know. It's all about mindset, and I think that this country that we live in affords us the opportunity of, you know, many lifetimes to create what we want to create for ourselves and for our children, and have a legacy that lives on. Like I said, Nathan Green or UncleNearest didn't die a black slave. He died a master distiller, and that was because there was many people who fought, you know, to end slavery and end the what word is escaping my head? The injustice that was happening to a type of people, a class of people. They fought for it, they achieved it, and now look, you guys got Jack Daniels and you guys got UncleNearest whiskey. So I don't know if you want to go buy yourself a bottle, go sip on it. I doubt it's the kind of whiskey, because if you look at the type of bottles that they actually produce with the UncleNearest brand, it's not a whiskey that you shoot. It's going to be a whiskey that you're definitely sipping on, you know. Not a shooting whiskey. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought it was interesting, you know, when my boss told me, yeah, this bottle actually comes from, you know, the man who taught Jack Daniels how to distill whiskey, and he was a black slave. And I was like, wait, what? Did my own research, and yeah, that's literally what it was. Sorry, that noise is annoying, but dang, my visor is so dark right here. So yeah, I just want to share that with you guys. It's Freedom freaking Friday, baby. I'm freaking riding. It's like 40 degrees, well, 48 degrees. My fingers are about to come off of my body, and I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun. I definitely think that we should always take a chance every day to take time out of our day to appreciate the country that we live in, the beautiful, look at this, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous out here. You know, appreciate the privilege that we have living in this country. Not many people have this privilege to live here and appreciate and actually, you know, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I was trying to plug the mic. Not many people have the opportunity that we are afforded to live in the US of A and live and work freely. And we don't want to let these freedoms just go to waste, you know. Not in every country can a woman own a motorcycle and drive it on the streets. I can tell you that right now. There's the San Jacinto Monument. I would like to bring you guys something special on Freedom Friday. So San Jacinto Monument, obviously the Texas Revolution, and a symbol symbolizes Texas freedom. And then there's a battleship around here that symbolizes freedom as well as the USS Texas. And it's just amazing, you know. Many people have put their lives on the line in the fight for freedom, and that's why we take every Friday, at least on this channel, to honor that. You know, whether there's somebody like Sybil Ludington, check that video out, whether it's somebody like UncleNearest, who makes some fine whiskey, or you know, the Krauses from last week, who saved 50 children from obvious death. We saw what happened with the concentration camps in Nazi Germany at that time. So people like that, who fought and they had a mission, they set a goal for themselves and accomplished something in the name of freedom. Those people should not be easily ignored, and their legacy should not be easily squandered. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this video by riding off into the sunset on this beautiful bike. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this Freedom Friday. My name is Halo the Riveter. I just want to thank you guys for joining in. Like I said, this video, normally I'm making new rider content from a new rider perspective, but we also do patriotic content on Fridays. So thank you so much. Hashtag always forward motion. That basically means whether you're moving forward at a crawl, a jog, a sprint, a walk, as long as you continue to move forward, whether it's your moto journey or your journey through life, continue forward and you will see that forward progression. So thank you so much. If you like this video, give me that thumbs up. Share it. I'm not stingy. If you learned something, share this video, man. I'm sure other people want to know. Taste the whiskey for me. Have a sip. Drink an old fashioned. Thank you so much. I hope to see you guys on the next one.